Hello everyone! We have a super fun video for you today. I am diving deep into the vault and pulling out all of my past designs. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the OMG, what the F was I thinking? After watching today's video, I hope you get inspired by all the good and bad design out there. I also want you to be able to see your home in a new light as you rethink some problem areas and be inspired by some creative solutions from my own designs and work. I'll be rating these past projects as well, and I want you to do it with me too. Let's have some fun today. As an artist and creative, I find it invaluable to critique your own designs with a more discerning eye. Adopting this process of marrying old ideals with new solutions would not only make you a better designer, it will just make you a better person all around. I have been in the interior design game for over 18 years now. As you can imagine, my portfolio is extensive. I started out designing hotels and nightclubs. Now I specialize exclusively in high-end custom residential design. For today's video, we'll be looking at a few different projects and going as far back as 10 years and kind of comparing that with some of my more recent projects. I'll be talking about the client, the project, some challenging conditions, talking you through what I hate about the design, what I love about the design, and some of the things that I might be doing differently. I will also be rating all of my past designs on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? And 10 being like, so fabulous, I would totally do it again. This first project dates back to 2010. This is one of my first custom residential designs, and it is located in Huntington Harbor. The clients are a young couple, no kids, a bunch of dogs with extremely fabulous taste. Once we got into the primary bathroom design, it was a doozy, and I'll tell you exactly why. We started out with this blank slate. It was a custom home, so we had gutted the entire house and we're building it back from the ground up. This is an ensuite bathroom that is connected to their primary bedroom. So of course the style is luxurious, it's glam, it's Hollywood. We started with a black and white palette, chose a lot of really luxurious materials like marble for the bathroom, marble for the countertops, a bespoke spa tub. I had mapped out the design for all of the cabinetry, making sure that she had like a really beautiful vanity area. We had dual double sinks, his and hers. One side was made exclusively as a steam room and the other side was just for traditional bathing. The client had fallen in love with this pattern that she saw in a design magazine. It's this really intricate kind of Baroque design detail, and she wanted to use it in the bathroom somehow. I had been working with the stone fabricator to laser cut every single piece of pattern and piece it together on site. So 119 square feet of all of these tiny little marble pattern. It was crazy. If we were to do this flooring pattern with entire slabs, it easily would have cost like $200,000. I know that sounds really crazy, but that's the truth. So I came up with a solution to help cut costs. I thought, hey, why don't we just source really inexpensive marble tile and granite tile and have these small pieces cut out of those tiles instead? That ended up reducing the budget by 75%, which was amazing. And we were able to complete this bathroom in about 6 months worth of time. Let's look at this entire bathroom again and let's talk about the things that I absolutely hate. Hate is such a strong word. Do I hate anything in this design? Probably not. I think the only thing that I hated about this design was how grueling the process was. Not only did it take a long time, we actually ripped out the entire initial floor because the original fabricators didn't do a really great job. Once a tile was laid out, it was like varying heights. They just didn't do a really good job. So they actually did this exact same design 2 times. It probably could have just taken 3 months instead of 6, but that is design. You never know what you're going to get. One of the things that I really loved about this project was it was my first glimpse into an entire design process from beginning to installation. So it's like you conceptualize a design, you kind of draw it out in the computer, you render it, you tie all of those little missing pieces in, and then all of a sudden 6 months later, you have this beautiful design that you created yourself. To me, that is the power of interior design. It's transformative. Not only did it create this really beautiful spa-like bathroom for the clients, it also leveled me up as a designer. It taught me how to come up with creative solutions, especially when you're working on a budget. Some of the minor things that I would change, even though aesthetically my style is different, is more of a functional kind of maintenance thing. If you look at these vanity sconces, I love crystals, I love glam, but once you're in a bathroom or even like a kitchen where it gets dirty very easily, it gets dusty, you're constantly cleaning these little crystals off. So would I ever encourage the clients to choose another fixture based on on the level of maintenance? Absolutely. But in the end, it's up to the client what they ultimately want to put in the space, and this is what she loved. So let's rate this design. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give myself like a 10, like a 20 for effort. But aesthetically, I'd probably give this maybe like an 8.5. I'm not quite as glam as I used to be. Can I imagine this bathroom in a modern day setting? Absolutely. With like another flooring design? Totally. If the flooring design was just like a really simple black and white layout, I think it would definitely read as a classic design and more timeless. So for this next project, we are moving to Newport Beach. This is Newport Back Bay. It is a spec house that I designed for one of my clients. A spec house is one that you design with the intention of selling. So when the clients came to me, they actually purchased this home as an investment property for themselves. And then the market changed and they decided, you know what, they were going to make a better profit if they were to flip it. The difference between designing a spec house and designing one for clients to actually live in is obviously you are trying to appeal to the masses. You want to choose finishes that have wide appeal, that is generally thought of as a luxurious material, because of course these are like $1 million properties. So not only are you choosing high-end quality materials, but you can't spend a whole lot of money because the clients don't live there. They want to get the most bang for their buck. It has a larger shower enclosure, double sink, and a small little nook for the bathtub and a separate water closet. I chose white marble for all of these applications, but if you're familiar with white marble, there's like hundreds of white marble on the market. The great thing about natural stone is that there's so much variation in it. Even if you chose the exact same type of marble, there's so much variation from lot to lot that the space will actually still feel like there's a lot of variety in it. I chose 4x12 Carrara white marble for the shower enclosure. We had this offset stack, so it creates a little bit more dimension and visual interest as your eyes travel around the shower enclosure. Using the exact same type of marble, I specified a herringbone pattern for the shower pan. For the bathroom floors, I chose a larger format tile in 12x24 because we have a larger expanse of space to cover. If you have smaller walls, let's say a shower, choose a smaller tile because of course that's scaled proportionally to the size of the shower enclosure. Now, once you move on to the bathroom floors and you have a little bit more space, you want to go up a notch. Choose a larger tile. You could choose the exact same tile in a larger format so that it blends seamlessly with your entire design. The bathroom countertops were a white marble as well, but I chose one that was completely devoid of any veining so we can have a little bit of a visual difference. Now that you've seen the design, let's talk about what I hate. I cannot stand these vanity sconces. What I don't love about this vanity sconce is that it's so basic. You know, not only is it basic, there's shades, it's like lighting up. I just thought that was like, wow, what bad design, Julie. Another thing that I don't love about this design is that it's kind of stale. You know, it's kind of one note. There's not a whole lot happening, but to me, that is what appeals to the general public. I don't think that this bathroom will kind of jump out at you as like amazing design, but it's okay. What I love about this design is that it's luxurious. I mean, I specified wall-to-wall marble. Who doesn't love marble? If this were my own home, I would have probably wrapped all 4 walls in this like amazing mural or even a fun floral wallpaper. Just something that adds more layers to this design, another dimension, something a little bit more interesting. How would I rate this bathroom on a scale of 1 to 10? Let's first preface with the fact that I am overly critical of my own work. So I would probably give this bathroom like a 5. Materials alone is luxurious material. It's marble, it's high end. The minute you put marble in any type of bathroom, you're already elevating the look of the bathroom. So I give myself bonus points for specifying like a really nice material, but I will deduct points for lack of creativity. For this next project, we are going back to 2014 at one of my favorite clients. This project is located in Irvine, California, and today we'll be looking at the living room design. My client Dave holds a very special place in my heart because he actually found me when I was fresh off of HGTV's Design Star. So this is like way back in my career. I had designed an apartment for a previous client in this apartment complex. And once that client moved out, we had done so much to this apartment that the property managers decided to use his unit as the model unit so they could show it to potential renters. Dave was a potential renter in this new apartment complex, saw the model home unit and was like, hey, who's the designer? I want to hire her to do my own space. So that was how we first started working together. It was a tiny little studio. We didn't spend a whole lot of money. I actually reused a lot of pieces that he already had, but we gave it some love. We zhuzhed it up, brought in a whole ton of color, a lot more graphics, and it was even featured in Orange Coast magazine. Fast forward a few years, Dave has moved to another apartment and now he has a girlfriend girlfriend. So I'm not only designing the space for the single bachelor, I am designing a space for a young couple with no kids. The challenge was bringing all of Dave's old stuff into the new home and marrying that in with his girlfriend's belongings as well. Fortunately, they have similar styles. I was able to pull the colors from Dave's own artwork to inspire the palette for the entire design. I separated his old sectional into 2 pieces so that we created a love seat, a little accent chair, and a recliner seated in the corner to create a conversational seating group. We've got this really minimal modern media console, a really graphic area rug underfoot, and really bold, colorful artwork that's lining the walls. Now let's talk about some of the things that I hate about this design. I hate the styling. I mean, it totally reads like I'm trying to make it look magazine worthy, but it really fell short. There's also a whole lot happening in this space. I know when you deal with a whole lot of color, you've got this like really bright orange set against this really bold turquoise. That color really vibrates in the room, and that's kind of all you can see. It's a really great design move to add in a lot of color, especially if you have a very neutral palette and a very neutral background. We've got these gray sectionals. We have this light gray on the walls. I love the punch and pops of color and the graphics in the space, but to me, it's a lot. It just feels like a little too much, especially if you're kind of looking to relax and wind down in a space. One of the things that I love about this space is that it totally looks and feels like the client. Without knowing who my client is, can you get an idea of what his aesthetic might be? So if I were to do anything differently in this space, I would probably tone down the hues a little bit, maybe like a desaturated turquoise and not too bright of an orange. Okay, so let's rate this room on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm probably gonna give this like a solid 7. I'm glad that the clients allowed me to be a little bit more creative with color, but I think a lot of it just kind of feels like big box store items. What do you think about this room? Is it too much color for you or just right? And the last project that we'll be talking about in today's video is Dave's home. Dave went from a studio apartment to another apartment, and then he bought a home, and I was able to design it alongside with him. It's a single family home, 1 story, really beautiful layout, considered pretty turnkey. I mean, all of the finishes were there. We just had a little bit of zhuzhing to do. You can see from the before living room that it was just really basic. You know, you kind of have this brick fireplace, a really dinky mantle, and the previous homeowners had plastered that space from the mantle up. If you are a longtime follower of this channel, you will know that it is one of my biggest common design mistakes to place a television on top of a fireplace. I had been working with Dave for years at this point, and he understood, he knew I hated that type of design, but he fought me. He fought me and said, hey, I need this TV in here. Where am I gonna watch football? Where am I gonna host and entertain? And I totally get it. So when I'm working with a client, I never just kind of impose all of my design ideas on them. It's a collaborative effort. So I came up with a solution to break down all of the existing plaster, the mantle. We would rebuild this focal wall so that it would still house a fireplace and a really beautiful massive television so that he can watch football with all of his friends, and use this design to be the focal point of the entire living room. You'll see that we reused some of the decor and accessories from his previous homes, but we added some new pieces, some hero pieces. I custom made a brand new sectional. I found these really incredible leather lounge chairs that I flanked on the side of the sectional to create the ultimate seating group. We added in a really beautiful plush wool rug underfoot with a lot of different colors in it. And here's that turquoise again. But this time, the turquoise feels a little bit more sophisticated and elevated. Is there anything I really hate about this design? I would probably invest in custom window treatments. The clients had found these prefabricated curtain panels from one of their favorite vendors, and they wanted to use it. So of course, I'm never gonna be like, hey, you can't use that. I wanna use what I wanna use. That's not how design works. So I installed these prefabricated tab top curtains in this space, but I feel like the living room could look so much more elevated with like a custom treatment, something with a little bit more heft to it. In the end, I loved the TV fireplace design. Since this is a great room and you're trying to watch the television from kind of all sorts of vantage points, we were able to put the TV on a swivel mount, so you can pull the television out, you can kind of swivel it around, so if you're in the kitchen or the dining room, you can still watch TV. You could also still be watching TV front and center once you're in the space. And because the living room is so much deeper than a traditional studio apartment living room where it's kind of smaller, the viewing angle is not as strained. I love it when clients prove me wrong, and this is a really great example of when you should be talking back to your designer. I designed this home back in 2017. If you're watching in real time, it is now 2024. So this is 7 years ago. If I were to rate this room today, I'd probably give it like a 7.6. To me, that's kind of like average, a little above average, just because there's nothing bespoke about it. I pretty much purchased all of the furniture, all of the decor, all of the accessories. So while this is true for most homeowners out there diving into their own interior design, you kind of find your favorite retailers, pick and choose what you like and piece it together. My current aesthetic promotes more tailored pieces to fit the space and design. That's it for today's video. What did you think of today's roundups? Were you just as critical of my own past designs as I was? What would you rate these projects on a scale of 1 to 10? The moral of today's video? Don't be ashamed to share more of your work. I have no problem showing all of my past designs. For me, there's always room for improvement. If you don't look back at where you were, how are you going to grow and evolve to become a better version of yourself? I had so much fun sharing some of my past projects with you. If you love this type of content and you want to turn this entire video into a full-blown series, please give this video a thumbs up. Comment below and let me know what was your favorite project from today's showcase. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you next week.